All right, everybody. I am your host, Professor Bobo. Welcome to what is hopefully tonight's entertaining bloodbath. As Roll1 Esports and Divine 9 enter the Coliseum, 2 will enter, 1 will leave. This is the semifinals. The number 2 seed and the number 3 seed here in Division B West, fighting to stay alive here in NGS Season 4 playoffs. What's happening?
Hey, what's going on?
Lots. All right.
Oh, it's exciting.
This is great. You just showed up. Okay. So here's what
Game's open and everything.
Woo! Hurry on up in. Okay, folks. So to try to explain what the situation going on here is, we had scheduled one of my favorite people to jump in here and be the co-host, but apparently in a rush to get to his computer seat, he had a cup of bourbon which he promptly spilled on his tower and his router. And thusly cannot make it. So tonight, filling in for Quantaka is D-Marcon. D-Marcon, thank you for being here.
Hey, no problem. Just playing some Overwatch.
Oh, man. So the funny thing is I let D-Marcon know. I'm like, listen, if something happens, I'll queue you up. Like, I know you didn't have any games this week. I didn't think this was going to be going to happen. And I just asked him at legitimately the start of this cast whether he can jump on. So, got you. Cool. Now you're a referee. You're a part of the show. Welcome to the lecture hall.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right. So tonight, we're just trying to speed things up before Jason starts to get mad at me. We are headed to Towers of Doom. Roll1 Esports has removed Battlefield of Eternity. Divine 9 has removed Dragonshire. This is the map selection of Roll1 as they seed over the first pick. And we'll take a quick look at the run-in in week 3. These teams matched. It was a draw. Map number 1 was Tomb of the Spider Queen. Divine 9 picked up the win. Map number 2, Towers of Doom. Roll1 picked up the victory. All right. And now let's hear a quick word from our captains as we play our little highlight reel.
So we started Roll1 as a means of opening up our group to competitive heroes without needing to take it too seriously. Many of the players on the team are parents or have busy work lives. So we wanted to make a place to play together while still learning. Divine 9 is a strong opponent. I fully expect this match could go anywhere from like a blowout to a nail biter. We just need to see if we roll a 20 or roll a 1.
I'm looking forward to this matchup tonight with Roll1. They're a really good team and a bunch of good guys. I feel like it's a pretty even matchup, and the biggest factor in who wins the match is going to come down to who shows up and who wants it more. I feel like it's going to be a dogfight. I expect the series to go to 3 games, and I just hope that when we're finished, we feel like we played our best and left it all out on the table and had fun.
All right, I want to thank our captains for helping us out there. We'll adjust our audio a little bit, Jason. Thank you very much. All right, keys to the game. D-Market again, thank you for jumping in like this. I know it caught you totally off guard. Ghost in the Shell. I want to give a shout out to Phantoms on Divine 9. I have had 3 sets now with Divine 9. And Phantoms has shown up big in every single game. Phantoms is a player who will jump onto the sort of melee flex role for Divine 9. He has played only 1 map this season on what you would consider a traditional ranged hero. Everything tends to move into Alarak, Kerrigan, Zeratul, Maiev, what else is in there? Tracer, Genji, so on and so forth. Our second point there, time for some weeding. Just a quick check on our stats. In the last 5 games, Roll1 is 4-1, and they are 4-0 in those games with Lunara. D-Marcon, I'll throw it over to you. What do you think of the new and improved Lunara?
I mean, based off what I've seen, it's just I feel like Nara plays just a lot more of a presence. That being said, she can also slip in very quietly, and a lot of times that poison we're not really noticed. You got to be aware if Lunara is, backline just damaging everybody throwing that poison around. You got to be aware. You got to make sure you know where she's behind, because before you know it, everybody's going to be poisoned up and falling.
Absolutely. She's proven to be a pretty good hero here. High win rate, good involvement in the playoffs. We'll keep an eye out on where Lunara falls. Our draft spotlight tonight, meta bans or target bans. This is just an interesting little wrinkle to the draft tonight. There are just some trends to keep an eye on. oftentimes, Roll1 will have Garrosh banned against immediately, but tank bans are a bit of an interesting topic du jour, as Divine Nine is a team that has only played one tank more than once, and that tank is ETC. Every other tank that they've played has just been a one-off. That's the hero that they go for. So, we're also talking about some ranged players that may have overlapping hero pools. We see a lot of Jaina in both of their scouting reports as well. So we'll see where that winds up going. We are just about ready for draft. D-Mark, again, thank you for joining. Any last notes before we hop on in here?
Nope, not really. Didn't have a whole lot of time to do any research on the teams, but I'm excited to get in anyway.
All right. We just want to make sure I don't want anybody to think I just was flying solo and ignoring the fine people. D-Mark on one of our new casters this season, and I'm hopefully going to help us out on the back end with cartography later in the playoffs, which would be
hopefully
awesome, man. All right. Draft is in. Teams have been waiting patiently. Thank God we found ourselves a co-caster, because nobody wants to hear me babble on for 2 hours. That's why my parents got rid of me. All right, let's go. So, once again, this is Towers of Doom, the map selection of Roll1 Esports. Divine Nine will be on the right side of this. Rabid Penguin is the drafter, tactician, calculator for Divine Nine.
A little bit interested to see what they go with. I think in terms of bans, I think something like a Garrosh is still very strong in the current meta, obviously. Still first pick. Interesting to though, Phoenix, though, at some levels of play, still considered that first ban. Other people let it through, so it's interesting to see how Divine Nine might feel about that Phoenix pick, whether or not they think it's still that, always get rid of first ban, no problem. Or else maybe let it through, maybe try to go for it, something like that.
Yeah, and there's the Garrosh ban. Kind of, again, expected. It's something that's been banned out constantly by Roll1, and they actually get rid of the Lunara. Okay. Playing against their type a little bit. Again, they are
interesting.
Yeah, they're 4-0 on that hero in their last 5 games, and they don't want any part of it.
Yeah, and it might have something to do with what they're planning on going into their healer. Maybe they're looking on something like a healer, something that's, like I say, an Uther healer, something that's just weakened to Lunara poison.
Okay, so I don't want to say too confused, but this is a little odd in that these drafts seem consistent with what Divine Nine does. Well, okay, so Divine Nine is something like 9-1 on Uther. They've even used Uther in a double support here in the playoffs. But Divine Nine is also, again, the team that just leans on ETC. The Jaina is a hero that has been played by both sides, so we can see that go in either direction. But ETC and Uther have been linchpins of Divine Nine throughout this season. And for a large part of the season, teams really didn't go after targets with them. They tended to play into the meta and, remove... again, if you removed either of the strong tanks in Diablo or Garrosh, or the strong supports in Malfurion or Stukov during the regular season, Divine Nine just kind of shrugged it off and played their game.
Yeah, and so it makes sense for Roll1 though to kind of pick those up. Obviously, it's a strong combo. You got the cleanse and the D shield on something like a mosh pit. So regardless of interrupts, you don't have to worry about it. As well as it's that denial pick, take away that comfort pick.
Yes, and Divine Nine
makes sense.
Divine Nine answers with Johanna and Sonya. Sonya is, again, a popular pick for them. We saw it quite a bit in the series against Moto Miracle.
Yeah. The Johanna, obviously always an okay choice with that survivability. I just feel like this early in the draft, I feel like the tank choke hasn't really happened. There's still a lot of good tanks available and open, and I would have liked to see one of those a bit more for a little bit more playmaking potential, a little bit more engagement.
It's just, again, it's an odd spot because I didn't expect ETC to get past this secondary ban phase. I expected it to be involved somewhere at the top of the draft here. I did not quite expect it to be snatched up this early by Roll1, but this also tells us what specifically Roll1 thinks about Diablo and how far off he's fallen. It's been an odd playoffs. Diablo, towards the end of this season, was the number 1 tank. He was just ubiquitous. He was involved in every single draft. Garrosh actually tended to get banned out even more than Diablo, but now, post-rework, the swing is in full effect. I've seen a little bit of Diablo, but each time I've seen that hero, it's been with the old school pre-rework build, whether or not it is, has been successful or not. Dahaka and Deckard Cain are the bans.
I mean, obviously, two good choices. I mean, if the Hawk is playing well, landing the tongue's going to have a pretty easy job at least matching Sonya, maybe even beating her out in that solo lane if he does it well. And that global potential into the Triage, you don't want that early XP advantage.
Yes.
You don't want to just give that away. And obviously, the Deckard's very strong as well. Lornado or Stay Endless, and both great options for zoning out. It's just a lot of strong potential on both of those bans that it makes sense to just something you don't want to fight in.
Dahaka on Towers of Doom, a little bit of an old school ban. Blaze is still up. We still have the likes of Malthael, who will do decently into Sonya, and we could even see sort of an off meta off laner. 6 seconds here. Roll1 Esports looking for their third and fourth selections here on Towers of Doom, and they go with the Kerrigan and the Vala. A very interesting draft in that these top three picks are very Divine Nine like. They're gonna have to prove that they can act with the sort of efficacy that their opponents have shown throughout this playoff series. Kerrigan was repeatedly banned out against Divine Nine by Moto Miracle in last week's matchup. Vala, an interesting take here. We don't see too much Vala. I believe the idea here is that she will be the furthest ranged hero, perhaps the only ranged hero in this setup for Roll1. Not under a lot of threat here either, but that is as of yet. Let's see what Divine Nine want to do. Again, they have flex and support for them here. I expect Rhaegar.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the Kerrigan's a bit interesting. It has a lot of potential to be countered. Obviously, you've got the Johanna stun, the blinds, and then the Jaina blows. It's going to be hard for Kerrigan to get out, and there's even more to counter it.
Oh, Zeratul and a Malf. Okay, so I was looking at either Zeratul or potentially the Alarak. That'll be a Zeratul for Phantoms and the Malfurion pickup.
And I think the Vala is, it's going to struggle into the Zeratul. They're going to have to make sure that Uther's ready with the heals, making sure that they know where Zeratul is, making sure that they can protect that Vala in the backline so they can really allow that damage to get out.
And this is a tough spot here for Roll1 because the Zeratul does change the equation heavily. This Zeratul tends to do pretty well against something like a Leoric, something that tends to be a little immobile. Malthael can have trouble catching him as well. So do they want something with aggressive peels, or do they want to augment the Kerrigan? Another odd pick that could be on the table is Tyrael if they do have it.
Would be a bit of a strange pickup, though.
And they go with the Phoenix. Okay, so it'll be an offlane Phoenix going up against that Sonya. There are no shield shredding talents on the side of Divine Nine. As if you do not know, Phoenix is currently bugged right now where talents that do damage to shields are directly chunking his hit points. So Varian and Morales and quite a few other heroes have very nice ways to beat up on our plucky Protoss hero.
Yeah, so luckily not going to have too much to worry about that, though.
Nope. All right, game number 1. Before we get started, I just want to throw a shout out to a bunch of new follows. Arabisk, Tektronic, Ronin, what is that? Triple Odd 89, Velvet Thunder, Toffs 1, and Home of Poe. Thank you guys for the follows. Thank you for tuning in. This is NGS Season 4 Playoffs, Round 2, Div B West. Roll1 Esports, the number 2 seed, going up against Divine 9, the number 3 seed. This is the first match of the week. Certainly want to welcome you guys here. I want to welcome D. Marcon again, my co-host on a whim. We'll get started with Roll1. For them, Velvet is going to be playing the Vala. Toffs is going to be on the Uther. Rock Your World on the ETC. Big Beard is going to be playing the Kerrigan. And from the back, Zad will be playing the Phoenix.
And in red for Divine Nine, we have Siege playing up in that top lane. We got Jason on our Jaina. We got Judge Beard on the Malfurion. Rapid Penguin on Johanna, and Phantoms playing the Zeratul.
We don't have anybody playing anything because we have a pause break.
Plot twist.
Beard has a banned skin. Yep. He has the...
I-
Oh, nice! Jason doesn't care. It's the mount.
He's got the mount.
Jason's going to allow it. Okay.
He's on. All right.
All right. Jason, being the plucky, lovable fellow that he is going to go ahead and allow this. We will go ahead and get our match started. I don't even know why we need the countdown. It hasn't started yet. Hiya! There we go.
3, 2, 1.
Countdown to another countdown.
So, boy, that should really just show you how much Big Beard plays Kerrigan. He already used a band mount. Could be a bold move here, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off. Level 1 talents are on the board for ETC Prog Rock. We see Q-Build, Monster Hunter on Vala. Uther taking Hammer the Lightbringer. That's an interesting talent pick. Phase Bomb build for Phoenix. And Sharpened Blades for Kerrigan. On the flip side, everything pretty standard for Divine 9. Fingers of Frost. We see the Iron Skin cooldown reduction. Cleave build for Zeratul. Movement speed, Nature's Swiftness for Malfurion, and War Paint for Sonya.
I think pretty standard talents all around. It'll be interesting to see how that cleave build, if they're going to be able to get a lot of value off of that big AoE damage. I think that's going to really impact if you can get that Vala, and you can maybe get another hero into that cleave build. It's going to get a lot of damage down there.
Mariachi ETC, thank you, Rock Your World, for sporting that new skin with that fantastic, those dulcet tones. Teams playing everything a little bit even. This is pretty par for the course for Divine 9. They'll just take the nice easy XP. They'll play some safe laning. They might look for a gank, but they're not super aggressive in the off lane. What we tend to see out of Divine 9 is a team that is incredibly low on damage. They don't do a lot. They just show up, and they are a high efficiency team that when they get to the objective, their goal is to pick up their kills, work quickly, and obviously win the video game. But again, this is a team that is something like 11th in terms of hero damage for the division, but is 3rd in KD. Take a look at Phantoms here, looking to see if he can put some true damage there in onto Zad. But the invade is going on bot lane, and absolutely. And with the split that Divine 9 has, they will be able to maintain an XP lead, but they are about to face down 6 sappers pushing in the bottom lane.
See them go in immediately, one of the towers gone.
It should be the other one as well. Rabbit Penguin here.
Going for the gate.
And it should be Velvets to finish. There's the Condemn. Nothing doing. Phantoms does show up. So we have a 4-on-4, and this is our first potential scrap down here in the bottom lane, but no harm done.
Roll1 looking to just keep making those rotations, kind of disengaged there. They did a good job of that, if that was their goal.
And a good job by Zed here, just playing safe. The Zeratul has harassed. Phantom's been looking for the quick and easy kill, and Siege has taken a not inconsiderable amount of damage here.
Yeah,
let's see if Zed wants to apply the pressure.
Yeah, Zed just getting that little bit of extra poke, but not much.
Ooh. Squirms out.
And I mean, so with Sonya low, with Zeratul low, I think there's a potential. I think we're going to see the advantage 2-1, I think, over 1 if they play this correctly.
But Divine 9 goes for 3 top, 2 bottom. They will concede bottom, but they do not invade top. This will be an easy 2-cap. Roll1 takes the early lead in terms of core damage. They, however, are still a little behind in XP. It's about a quarter of a level. Yes, Big Beard is using the banned Kerrigan mount. However, Jason and Divine 9 are okay with it. It is banned because it has a seemingly smaller hitbox. I'm not sure if the hitbox itself is actually smaller.
It's just harder to see it and understand.
I think it's purely size.
There's no real changes. It's just.
So again, nice, quiet game. I don't think anybody's been below half health, other than the solo lane poke coming out from Phoenix.
But yeah, mostly just a lot of rotations, trying to get those camps, trying to clear those lanes. And I think, Divine 9's doing a good job. They've got themselves a nice little, about half a level lead at this point in XP. So, clearly it's working for them, and I don't really see they should be changing that, looking for any fights at this point.
No, and a good bit of comms there, as Phantoms comes up as soon as Zad's shields are gone on Phoenix, but at the same time, Zad, recognizing that Zeratul is out and lurking, and he will yet again give up top camp. top gate is gone. However, both of the towers remain. And now we have the solo bottom camp as yet again. Roll1 Esports are looking for the double camp invade bottom. Penguin is here. Toffs is not on the Uther. It looks like Uther and Zeratul will arrive at the same time. There's a Condemn coming out. Iron Skin has already been used. Velvet is deep, but is not under pressure yet. Phantoms will go ahead and look for the Vala for sure. Kerrigan goes down immediately. Phantoms is on. The Rampage Vala goes down as well. The counter kill comes out on Jaina, but Uther is not long for the world, and ETC is all that remains. A 3-for-1. Divine Nine with a very quick 3 kills.
Yep, but now with no support and no damage, Divine Nine's going to be able to grab that with absolutely no problem. Pushing in, they've got 3 sappers now going in. They should be able to get a little bit of damage down there. There's 1 tower gone, and they should be able to work on that second and potentially get it.
And Phantoms, again, beats Toffs down there. Johanna used Iron Skin early, but again, that did not have the intended effect as Jaina and Zeratul combined with really just too much damage for Uther to handle without counter pressure being applied. And especially this Uther without 10. 10's coming online for Divine Nine as they win the race. Void Prison, Ring, Blessed Shield. I'm sorry,
yeah, the Void Prison, a little bit of a separation from the traditional cleave, especially if you go cleave build.
Okay, that's 4 people. Judge Bread's hitting the Twilight Dream button. Gets it off. There should be 4 kills. The Condemn comes out. The silence is still being applied.
Absolutely flawless combo by Divine Nine.
Wow.
Didn't miss 1 step in it.
That is absolutely textbook. Phantoms with the setup actually winds up getting all 4 heroes into Void Prison. This game is about to snowball fast. The Twilight Dream, the Ring of Frost, the Blessed Shield. I mean, just listen, if you get 4 people in a Void Prison, if everybody hits the R buttons, everybody in the other team goes away. And that was the case there as Divine Nine now leads 7-1 in terms of kills. They have taken what was a quarter of a level lead early, snowballed it into what is now a 2-level lead. Roll1 now have 10s available. They're okay in terms of core shots, though.
Yeah, it's still even in terms of core shots. Now with 10s, they have a chance to contest and make sure it stays even and do a trade.
We do have Mosh Pit, Rain of Vengeance, Divine Shield, Maelstrom, and Purification Salvo. So no funny business here. Keep an eye on bot lane. It's Phantoms yet again lurking. Let's see if he takes the first fish that comes through. There's the Condemn onto the ETC. Nothing doing down there. Phoenix and Sonya have done a boring but admirable job of just trading in the top lane. Really nothing going on there. All the action has been here down in bot where Roll1 picked up the first invade, went for the second invade. It cost him a few kills. And Divine Nine has started to open up a big lead here.
But I kind of wish Roll1 there had kind of taken the engage. They knew Sonya was still in the top lane. They knew it was a 5v4, yet they let them just walk away. So
they're in a position where they are going to be limited in terms of the number of even talent tier fights that they can take. They just missed 1 there, but they do trade it for the bottom bell tower.
in return, Sonya grabbing that top sappers, so they're going to be pushing.
Yes, that's the...
A little bit more pressure in that top.
That's the 3rd time that camp has been grabbed, I believe. And now the wall is gone. Cooldown's back online. Let's see if Divine Nine wants to make yet another play outside of the objective phase, if you can.
But now they've hit 13, so I think at this point we're safe to say we might see a strong.
See Phantoms there yet again. And Rain of Vengeance misses. They are in a panic over the Zeratul. 2 shrines up. Roll1 still a level away from 13. Keep an eye on that. It looks like Sonya might have hit the spear on Zad.
So, slow on that rotation. Next. Going into this, it should be interesting down a talent tier, but they're going to have to fight if they don't want to really start taking a loss.
No, you know what? I think there's an opportunity where, again, 8 shots, it'll bring you down. It'll be 29, what, 29-19. I think Roll1 can let this go. And it looks like they're thinking about it. Just get a little bit of poke. Maybe if you get a free easy kill, Now they're in big trouble. That is a 3-man ring. Here steps up Judge Bread. The ring is out. Twilight Dream is down. ETC is not long. Iron Skin comes out on Johanna. The possibility for counter kills is here as the Purification Salvo comes out. Jason goes down. Jaina is gone. And immediately the counter kills start flying. Carrion goes down. That's the third kill as both Johanna, Sonya, and Zeratul are gone. Zad with the late show up, and Roll1 are right back in this video game.
Yeah, just an absolutely amazing Divine Shield from that Uther there. Kept Follow alive. The damage went out. And then due to that, the fact that Uther was the one that died, that healing was there and available for the rest of the team. You know, ETC stayed alive and was able to kind of zone out and secure those last few kills. So a great D-shield there by the Uther.
And in that circumstance, Divine Nine was a little late, and they were not able to get the Malfurion deep enough into the enemy formation to apply more than 2 applications of Twilight Dream. I know that but it definitely hit ETC. Had Kerrigan in there as well. And Zad, again, with the late show.
But
finished off
works
2
fine
kills.
nonetheless.
Yeah. Listen, okay, so we have a brand new game. 5-on-5. Roll1 says we'll match you. 9-5 in terms of kills. Now, experience almost dead even. Shots fairly even as well. Judge Bread will get the Iron Skin baited out there. Remember, Mosh Pit still available, has not been used. The cooldowns are going to come up for both teams momentarily. Siege on that Sonya continues to work on the top lane as Zad has been double soaking to get his team back into this game. And right now, with an even match here, D-Marcon, where do you want to see Roll1 go with this newfound momentum?
I think I just want them to continue what's going on. I mean, like this, they need to get the picks, and they've got that playmaking potential themselves.
Well
so
done.
far, we've been seeing the Void Prison, Ring of Frost combos, but there's the own combo that you have on the side of Roll1 that we haven't seen come out, which is the Divine Shield into the Mosh Pit. You've got Maelstrom, you got the Purification Salvo, and then Vala to just do overall sustained damage throughout the whole thing. And we haven't seen that combo come out quite yet, so I want to see a little bit more of that playmaking, at least looking for that playmaking.
And Divine Nine will make a calculated trade here. They will trade 2 top channels for mid-channel as well as the bottom fort. This is the second time that they have capped the bottom fort. Shots are now 19-18, so Roll1, on the strength of 1 team fight and a pick against a Sonya, have done a spectacular job of crawling back into this game. They are almost even in terms of XP. 16's online momentarily for them. Phantoms has gone a little bit too far. There's Blessed Shield for the peel. Big Beard on the flank.
Yep.
Teams playing.
Now 16's hitting for both teams at this.
Heroes, I have opened a tunnel near our core that leads to the battleground.
Build's now complete. We see Benediction come online. Cleave build now finished for Zeratul. Phantoms went deep to get that. Only hits ETC. Uther is in the area. Keep an eye on the Uther cooldowns there. Has not had to hit anything yet. There's the Mosh Pit. There's the D-Shield. Big Beard trying to find some kills before he goes down. Rabid Penguin trying to pick up the kill here. Rock Your World is deep. He is underneath an enemy tower, and he goes down. ETC and Kerrigan are gone now. It is an opportunity for Divine Nine to clean up. Vala as well as Uther are gone.
Just, yeah, it seemed in that fight that Roll1 just maybe wasn't aware of where they were, or maybe they thought they had more sustain going into it, but that tower just kind of really did a lot of damage to them. They fought under it, they took damage from it, and it was like an extra member going into that fight.
Clearly, that was definitely the issue. I believe the tower probably wound up finishing off Rock Your World on that ETC. They had the opportunity there. They went with the Mosh Pit, but not enough damage coming out from Vala there. Johanna was able to get Iron Skin off as well. Not only is this going to cost Roll1 mid-fort, it's going to cost him a bell tower. It's likely to cost him 3 sappers here on the bottom. You need to keep an eye on these fellas.
Yep.
There's 1.
There they go.
There's 2 and 3. Wow. That's 9 shots.
Yep. That's going to bring him down.
Single digit time now for Roll1.
Well, one of those siege camps in the bot lane is still up, so we could see a member like Sonya back off, grab that, and get a little bit more push pressure.
We could. For right now, for Roll1, the problem for them is, what is the path back? They have to worry about the boss pickup as well.
Yep, that's always a potential, a boss plus 1 more altar at this point. Even with 5 shots now, a boss plus 1 altar phase is going to be enough for Divine Nine to complete. So they want to do as much as they can to keep bottom bell tower in their possession.
Big Beard has gone in already. There's the cleave coming out from Zeratul. That damage is starting to stack hard. If you're not familiar with this Zeratul build, it is back to Q in the cleave build. It's a blink in, trying to hit multiple targets with that AoE damage. Blink back out. Other than one misstep, Phantoms has done a fantastic job on this Zeratul. Has put a lot of pressure on Velvet, specifically on that Vala. Vala has been unable to apply enough damage to swing many of these team fights. Here are 3 sappers pushing up at the bottom lane. Rocket rolled up front there. Zad using the plasma cutter. All heroics are online for both teams. Warp has to be used. 2 sappers down, and the third will go. This could be game, though. Should Roll1 lose both of these altars, they will lose match number 1.
Yep. But, so in order to make sure that they don't lose, they have to leave that bell tower. So most likely we're going to see at least 5 shots heading over. 9.
They're playing this aggressive. If they give up the 5 shots, they then have to play around boss. This is probably the last opportunity to fight pre 20. The cleanse comes out on an ETC. Judge Bread is going to actually get the channel off. That's a zoning mosh pit, if anything. The ring comes out. There's the Q from Zeratul. He's going to get Velvet low as well. So Vala goes down. D-Shield comes out. So Zeratul goes down. ETC is next to fall. The ring is there. Big Beard is trying to put the damage on, but Jason with the Blizzard is going to finish this game. Blizzard found 2 members. Phoenix goes down. The channel as well as the boss. Game 1 is heading on over to Divine 9.
Really well played by them. You know, they got their early game lead. With the exception of that one fight, they really said, you know, this game is ours. We're the better team in this matchup. And they really said that, you know, we're going to run the tables this game. So I'd like to see what Roll1 Esports can do next game. You know, maybe it's, you know, certain bans. They don't want to play against certain heroes. Maybe it's changing how they're rotating, things like that. But it'll be interesting to see what they can do to kind of adapt.
Again, this, if you are just joining us, if you are new to the Divine 9 style, there is one thing you will notice about these stats. There's no damage. Top damage is 26k. This is exactly the kind of game that Divine 9 wants to play. They will spread out. They will not panic over lane pressure. They will try to apply asymmetrical pressure. As you saw in that game, they kept top sappers 3 times pre-13, if not pre-10. And then they just, again, look for these high-efficiency team fights. You see Jason with 8 kills despite only doing 21k in damage. Map number 1 heads over, again, to Divine 9. D-Mark, on changes you would like to see here in the second game. I was personally skeptical that Roll1 might have been trying to take away too many of the comfort picks for Divine 9. I'm not sure that the Kerrigan really worked out for them there in that game.
Yeah, I think the Kerrigan had a lot of troubles. I mean, I kind of brought it up in draft. Fighting into a Jaina is always going to be difficult. Hana's always going to be difficult. Sonya, always going to be difficult as a Kerrigan. That being said, I personally felt like a lot more of the problem came from they set up this combo with the E there, but we really only ever saw it executed fully in one situation. The other time, they really kind of waited and they got engaged upon. I'd like to see them going into the second game kind of be the ones to make the fights happen, be the one that's engaging the fights, and they're choosing how, rather than, you know, just waiting for the Void Prison to come out, and then they don't have much of an option of what to do. I'd like to see them kind of take a little bit more control over how those team fights are happening.
And really, the way that 4-man kind of broke down, there were very few targets for Kerrigan to attack aggressively. Again, you have Rabid Penguin on the Johanna with the safety of Iron Skin, but Phantoms on that Zeratul was quite slippery, was able to work the jungle very well, and if Kerrigan can't really see the, you know, obviously the intended target, it winds up being very difficult for her to land those Ravage into Impale combos, and I think that was, again, the really critical part of what was going on in that game. Uther did struggle in that game as well. Healing was quite low. Tough one for Roll1. That was their map pick, though, and just a quick reminder, we'll flash back. Roll1 did take the win on Towers of Doom when these teams previously met in Week 3. Bucking the trend a little bit here. All right. let's get everything set up for map number 2. So we have from Towers, D-Marcon, we're headed to an old school map. Remember, Battlefield and Dragonshire have been released from the map pool. Where, sir, do you think we are headed?
I'm hoping something interesting. I'm hoping for Cursed Hollow.
Folks, he's right. We are headed to Cursed Hollow for map number 2. Let's go ahead.
I mean, I'm
get everything
really
set up.
excited.
Why
Really
do you?
excited for this matchup.
I was gonna say, why do you like Cursed Hollow?
I love casting on Cursed Hollow. There's so much strategy that goes into this map. I would say by far, it's the map that is the most dependent on your strategy. So, are you going to take global heroes, try to get that soak advantage? Are you going to maybe take an Abathur? You can see interesting heroes like that Abathur or the Lost Vikings come up. There's a lot of options like that, and there's so much strategy of who do you rotate at what time? How do you get ready for those tributes? And as well, how do you contest tributes when you're down talent tiers and advantages and things like that? And it's just there's so much strategy that goes into this map as opposed to a map such as Towers of Doom that we just played on, where it's a lot of team fighting, and it's a lot less strategy as compared to just get all 5 people down there and fight.
Do you think we're going to see something, I don't know, funky this game? Do you think we're going to get anything more than perhaps say the Abathur? I mean, do you think Roll1's in a position here where they're going to panic and try to steal a map, or is it maybe a little bit too early for that?
I'm not quite sure. I would love to see something like a Vikings pick or something crazy like that. But I don't think we're going to see anything more than an Abathur, but I always keep my hopes up.
Well, keep an eye. We're going to check our scouting reports in a little while. We've got both of our teams trickling into the lobby. Let's get our captains set up. What's going on there? All right. So game number 2, again, will be Cursed Hollow. Roll1 Esports went with map selection. So far, team's looking for the R. Let's make sure we got everything set up. Dexter Divine 9 took that first map. Thank you for stopping by, brother. It's always appreciated. And good luck to the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit as they continue their march in the playoffs in Division A West. All right. Roll1 is ready. D9 is ready. We are headed to Cursed Hollow. This is a fun one. Draft is on the way.
Cursed Hollow.
I like this map too. There's just a lot of different heroes you can play.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing wrong on this map almost.
No, I mean, you can play Teamfight, you can play Macro, you can play Cheese. That's not really something that's in the, I guess you would say, the ballpark of either of these teams. Again, they're Divine 9 is one of the most deliberate teams you're going to find in all of NGS. They take a standard solo laner. They have a small pool of supports that, again, do not include the likes of Stukov. They want ETC. They want their melee flex, and they want their mage, and they just want to play safe and then bully you over the objective. And in game 1, they played it fantastically. Remember, in game 1, they actually gave up. They gave up the first 3 separate camps on the bottom lane. Finally responded to the 4th attempt. Took 3 kills there. Post 10 took 1 big 4-man VP combo, and just wound up controlling the majority of that game with a slight bobble there between 13 and 16. Another Garrosh ban. Again, Garrosh was banned out about 40% of the time against Roll1. Divine 9 is keeping up with that trend. 10 seconds left for Roll1 on their ban. Bruce SM, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Welcome to the lecture hall. Hope you are enjoying the show. Zeratul taken away.
Very targeted.
Oh, yes. And we talked about it in the pregame. Target bans versus meta bans. And Divine 9 sticking with the meta. Roll1 showing the respect.
Makes sense, though. I mean, it did so much. And there's the Lunara that came out. So banned last time. So they say, you're afraid of the Lunara? Let's pick that up. We're going to make sure that, you might want to run ETC Uther again. Take that away from us. But, now we've, running an Uther into Lunara. So,
This really there's a secondary key behind this first pick Lunara, and that's the fact that it actually opens up Uther for Divine 9. It guarantees that the Uther will not be selected on the other side. So Roll1 will answer with the Jaina, and Jaina is the ranged hero that is shared the most between the two teams, and they do take the ETC away. I like these first two picks. Again, there's never anything wrong with an ETC, particularly on a map like Cursed Hollow. You can use them in a variety of different ways. You are not locked into Mosh Pit for sure. And I do like Jaina as she provides the PvE and PvP aspect that you were looking for in your mages. As now the map turns over to Divine 9. To be honest with you, I would expect them to look at tank and solo lane here. I think Sonya is on the table. D-Mark, on your thoughts as 30 seconds left for Divine 9.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense to get the solo lane out early. You've got that comfort pick, and with Roll1 having that last pick, makes sense to just say, let's take what we're comfortable with. Let's not get that banned out. We know that they're going to have that last pick to counter us, so let's make sure we get what we want here.
5
And I
seconds.
think support would also be strong here, as we do have fan phase coming up.
Oh, they want Joe and Sonya. It's an interesting bit of a tell that they take the Johanna twice here and that early. I think it really speaks to where they are comfortable with their tank meta. They just want the safety of Johanna. They want the Sonya, again, the preeminent solo laner. I think Zad did an admirable job, quite frankly, with the Phoenix. He was under pressure from not just Sonya, not just Zeratul, but constant Merc pressure in the top lane on Towers of Doom. 25 seconds left here for Roll1. The support pool opens up a little bit. We did see the Malfurion, but they get rid of the Uther. So Rhaegar and Malf will move up for Divine 9. And on the flip side, we'll see where they want to go with their ban.
Lots of options. That's Jutha's available, Deckard's available, but banning out the Dahaka.
You know, they want to keep, and it almost feels like they want to keep their opponents in lane. And they want to keep everything very predictable. You know, Dahaka, again, not a strong hero. A Sonya would like to go up against a Dahaka in the off lane. But again, this is sort of Divine 9 strategy. They want, again, safe, simple, soak, show up for the team fights. And, oh, there's my buddy. Archie, the Archangel with 100 bits. Thank you for the donation, brother. Always a pleasure to have Papa Bear show up here for NGS playoffs. 20 seconds left here.
I think, you know, we're obviously going to see the support coming out. Oh,
Oriel and Vala.
Yeah. So a little bit old school there, but you know, Oriel's obviously been up and coming in the meta over the past 2.
I like Oriel a lot. She's been really effective in the playoffs, quite frankly. And I don't know, you know, again, after the small amount of buffs to her, kind of saw this coming, but she's been wielded to great effect by many supports as she's a comfort for many. She fell out. She's a little more battery independent, but give her a Vala and she is almost back to where she was in the double support days.
They just have to make sure that they're protecting that Vala again, you know. Phantom on that Zeratul last game, a lot of pressure onto the Vala, so, you know, wasn't really able to get as much damage as they wanted out. So as long as they make sure that this game, you know, they already banned out the Zeratul, so they don't have to worry about that. But, you know, as long as they're making sure that, you know, if another hero like that kind of comes up, that they're protecting it.
Rhaegar Genji. I think.
Yeah.
I think. And Deckard Genji.
Deckard Genji.
Okay. I thought that the Rhaegar would have been there to support the Genji. I could see the Genji pick coming through, particularly against Jaina, Oriel, and Vala. Deckard Cain, though, surprising me.
But it does have some value, you know, especially it's another way to, you know, you got the Johanna Condemn and you got the Sonya Spear, and it's one more interrupt on the potential mosh pit, just to make sure that nothing like that's happening. Maybe force ETC something like into the stage dive. You know, say that this is what the ultimate we want you to go, or else, you know, if he chooses stage dive on his own, you know, something like Stairwell Endless, it still has so much potential regardless.
That's interesting.
Shout out to Archangel in chat, though. with
I
that
guess-
Artanis.
I mean,
pick.
maybe they heard that Archie was in the building. Okay,
Yeah,
we'll
maybe
just
they heard.
Throw the Artie out there. Okay, so I mean, really quickly before we get super deep into this, the Artanis tips me off to something that's going to be very interesting to keep an eye on, and that is going to be whether or not Roll1 is playing this for the early bosses. They have insane siege damage between Vala and Artanis. Jaina is no slouch. Jaina can provide, as much camp clear as anybody, certainly when paired with an Oriole, and Artanis and Vala, do the same. That's a lot of PvE damage. I don't.
So
it's not cheese, but it's it's early boss threat. I mean, they could start moving for bosses at 7 or 8.
yeah, they definitely have that early potential as well as quick invades. I mean, that's the thing. Just a quick invade on the enemy camps would also provide a lot of value. And if you look at what Sonya, Genji, Lunar, each of them have great damage, but nothing like that combo with those three. They can camp in probably a second and a half between.
It's going to be a lot of burst. So for Divide 9 this game, looking to pick up the 2-0. Jason will be playing La Padana Lunara. Phantoms is going to be on the Genji. A Rabid Penguin on the Johanna. Judge Bread on the Deckard Kane. Riding that sweet snazzy mount. Heading on up to top lane Siege, will be playing the Sonya.
And for the side of Roll1 here in matching Sonya, that top lane is on Artanis. We have Zad on the Jaina. We got Big Beard. Oriole being played by Toffs, ETC by Rock Your W, and Vala being played by Velvet.
Second game in a row where Velvet will be on the Vala. Immediate bottom pressure. This is an aggressive play from Divine 9. They are on the hunt with Genji and Luna.
Yep, but ETC and Jaina are already down there. They were smelling something out, so
It smells
down there just in case.
Smells of familiarity here. Both of these teams just kind of passively feeling each other out there. Artanis, the first person to start right-clicking minions. Here comes the collapse on bottom.
Nara, though, taking the safe out.
Should be fine. Rocket World certainly has power slide up and available. All right. So after a little bit of feeling out there, the teams will begin their lane assignments. We see Velvet already peeling to pick up Giants. It's an easy pick up for Vala. The ability to just stutter step everything.
Yep, and especially with that Q build, especially going to get some of that value.
We'll see if that turns into stacking. And just to keep an eye on it here, Phantoms knows where this Vala is, has already grabbed the point. Oh boy.
Yes.
I don't think Velvet is going to live through this.
Tops
Here's
is
Oriole.
coming up, though.
He's going to have
Has the
one
heal.
heal. Gets one heal off. There's the stun. Oh, and Phantoms winds up getting traded out. Toffs with a fantastic play. First blood over to the side of Roll1. Shout out to Toffs.
Got there
Getting that
just
heal
in
off.
time.
Oh, and the detainment strike, too, was fantastic. Siege trading here with Artanis is not going to win that early. Meanwhile, the counter kill on Jaina as Jason and Judge Bread wind up finding themselves a wizard.
Now Artanis has that siege camp top lane.
This is
point. Well,
this is one of those the few early tough matchups for Sonya. One of the few. Siege is in trouble here. If he gets flipped, I don't know if he gets back out. Zad just misses it. He was a little late. I thought he should have popped it early and just tried to body block.
yeah. Would have liked to see it earlier and just guarantee that it hits rather than going for that max.
Big Beard and Toffs will pick up the Bruiser camp here. Lunara winds up trading. Jason will pick up the Giants. Level 4 is online for both teams. Again, everything playing pretty standard here. We'll see how much pressure Roll1 wants to put on the top lane.
Follow
20
off on her level 4 still, though. Finally picking it up.
Did you want to go with the cube? It does. So, in fact, we do have Puncturing Arrow on Vala. Genjiro cleaning up top camp there. Zad in the area. It's going to be a 5-on-5. There is going to be bottom pressure from the Giants. That is something to keep an eye out on. They are at the front of the minion wave. But no one is going to be down bottom lane for quite a while.
Yep. But Roll1 does have that siege camp, or that bruiser camp in the mid lane.
There's the scroll of ceiling. Velvet has to vault out. Siege is on the back line. Actually winds up getting flipped, but not quite over the wall. Zad is in the back line. The CC chain is not there and available, but Rock Your World is going down quite low to Siege. The Blizzard comes out. ETC trying to cut out. Scroll of ceiling goes down again. Roots Vala. ETC low. Everybody resets. Penguin comes in, hits a 3-man condemn. Velvet's in big trouble. Phantoms is trying to pick up that first kill. Can Moriel keep Velvet alive? No. Looks like Rock Your World is next. Phantoms starting this kill chain going. ETC is down. Jaina is losing life to poison. There's the ping pong. 3 kills. Siege gets out of there with 200 HP. 4-1. Divine Nine keeping the kill cup. Oh, boy.
Now, in the meantime, that siege camp almost done with that entire bottom wall.
What was the misstep there by Roll1? It looks like they really struggled to just move for a target. After the reset, it was a big 3-man condemn as well.
I think they're just having a hard time kind of finding their own engages. They're waiting for Divine Nine to engage, but that's really a problem because, you know, with the Deckard Kane, there's so much engaged potential. You know, there was so much zoning out by that Deckard that it just added up that eventually they never had the chance to really find what they wanted, I think.
You know, I agree that I thought it was going to be a regular for a more aggressive comp, but the Deckard actually allows Divine Nine to sort of set this field in front of ETC where Cow, you shall not pass, and it allows Jason on that Lunara to ramp up the poison damage, to pick on a few different targets, and you can see Divine Nine, they're playing for cooldowns. If they don't get their engagement on the Condemn and the Scroll of Sealing, they will certainly back off, reset, let the poison damage come in, and wait for Genji to find the resets.
At the same time, if Roll1 does find that engage that I've kind of, you know, been hinting towards and saying that I wanted, you know, that Scroll of Sealing from the Deckard is, you know, it's going to split the team off. They're not going to be able to, you know, really keep that engage going when they're split. So, I think the comp is just leaning a bit towards them at this point when you're looking at craft.
Rocky World is in trouble here. There's the ability to dive this fort based on the minion positioning. There's the root. Ooh, Siege went for the spear, did not hit anything. The counter engage is coming through there. Zad looking to get the swap. Actually went to find Lunara. Sonya is down in the middle of that. The mage minion, though, still has armor. And Phantoms picks up a counter kill on ETC. Zad with the blade dash is low, but the front has been set. Detainment strike pushes Rabid Penguin off yet again. Tough play there for Roll1. They felt like they had Sonya on lockdown, and the flip actually went through on Lunara and Jason. Hippity hops on out of there. Divine Nine closing in on level 10.
Or face my curse.
They have it. Luckily enough, though, for Roll1, they were able to pick up the second tribute, largely unopposed. We see Wrath, Dragonblade picked up as well. For Deckard Kane, this is always a bit of an interesting build as we see them pick this up. It's Sapphire, Rejuvenation Potion, and Kenai's Cube.
And also from the Lunara, interesting find, so trying to get a little bit more of that just poke damage rather than that, you know, get in there and team fight you. Obviously, got Artanis, ETC, Oriel, Vala, Jaina. You don't really want to be hopping into any of those heroes.
But again, I do think the support pick really sort of set the table for them there. If they picked an aggressive support, I could certainly see Leaping Strike coming into play, but Thornwood Vine is an exceptional pick here. Rabid Penguin finishing a wall off, uses Iron Skin just a little defensively. Judge Red babysitting giants in the bot.
Yep. No, there's been this wisp from Lunara just sitting on this boss, scouting it out, and what is Roll1 saw it there and just left it. They left that vision available.
They still haven't picked up on it.
Well, they took one shot. They know it's there.
They did take one.
Vala used her W arsenal to try to do one shot, but then it ended up finishing it.
Wrath of the Berserker is on cooldown. Deckard Kane has not picked a heroic yet. It is stage dive on ETC, and that may have something to do with it. Penguin is up at the forefront here. Here's the Condemn. The blind actually has to be used. And Lornado comes out as well, the little effect. There's the stage dive. It looks like Rocky World is trying to get in on the backside. Oh, and Lunara gets caught in the Ring of Frost. At the meantime, Dragonblade coming out as Big Beard is under pressure from Phantoms. There goes Jaina, and these teams are scrapping on top of Siege. Is Sonya going to be able to get much done? No, she goes down. Scroll of Sealing is going to catch 3. Rabid Penguin is there as well. Boy, nobody has any heroics yet. Phantoms, though, ping pong, picking up the ETC kill. Rapid Penguins in the back lane. It is now a 3-for-3. There's another Iron Skin. I think Velvet can pick up this kill on Johanna here. And there's just a zone out, and Tops is now on the point. The cube. Jason is the first back. There's another Lornado. So that cooldown's up. Velvet's on the wrong side of the battle here. Phantoms is trying to find the kill. The Aegis comes out. Genji tries to deflect the Aegis damage, and Velvet now, with one heal, can go ahead and resume the carnage. Genji goes down. There, Judge Bread actually picks up Curse. Big Beard can't find the counter kill on Johanna. And in all that mess, dare I say, Divine Nine actually winds up winning it.
Very interesting team fight there. That was really hard to follow.
I mean, Phantoms actually died for the curse. So it's going to claim mid-fort. I'm not sure it gets much else, but here is the 4-man. This is the level 13 advantage fight. Scroll of Sealing comes out. It actually winds up getting through both Toffs as well as Rocky Road.
Toffs, Tornado.
There's the defensive stage dive. Siege, meanwhile, picks up Jaina. That's 2 kills. 3 kills. Vala is gone. This fort is gone. And Phantoms is here. Rocky World's in big trouble. Does he have power slide? Yes. ETC scurries away. 13 talent tier. Divine Nine smells blood in the water. They pick up 3 kills. And now they are working on Rock Your World and Roll1 Esports boss.
Yeah, and that was just a really good fight overall from Judge Brad there on the Deckard. I mean, the first Scroll of Sealing that got 2 members, so good. You know, they managed to get both kills from that, and then the Lornado to secure even more. Just absolutely amazing, ability usage. Everything was exactly in the right place the entire time.
And it's a low cooldown heroic, and I have to say, Judge Red is just going to throw him out there. He's going to try to find any impact. He used 2 in the first curse fight.
This one's already up.
Bottom boss is not going to get very much here again. This is... I'm not sure if that's a 10-minute or a 9-minute boss. I think that one might have been a 9-minute. This will be a 10-minute boss. So again, the scaling low, but Divine Nine with that macro play, they pick up not just their own boss, they pick their own bruiser camp up as well.
Point, all they're trying to do is say, we're going to dictate what you guys are doing. You're going to defend against one boss, then you're going to defend against the other. They're saying, you don't get to choose what you're doing in this game. You're on defense now. We're playing offense. You guys are playing defense. We're running the tables from here on out. And that's really what these bosses are about at this point. Obviously they're not going to get keys. Nothing like that this early on. But it's just establishing the feeling for the rest.
And that they cannot pick up keeps is the saving grace here for Roll1. Listen, if you're ever trying to mount a comeback on Cursed Hollow, just have 2 tributes post 16, and you've got a chance. And that may wind up ultimately being their saving grace. They have minimal, if not no structure damage. They have a good bit of damage there on top wall. Mid wall has lost a tower, a gate, another tower gone there bot. They're just going to have to play for the late game snowball. 1 tribute, a decent setup for them. Divine Nine trying to figure out where they can apply pressure.
Gather tribute. Earn my favor.
16 talents here right around the corner. I think Roll1 is just going to have to let this one go.
But at the same time, it looks like Divine Nine is also planning on letting this one go and just looking to get this bottom lane. And Artanis rotating down means that they're just... Neither of them are really going to go for it, but rather this is going to be the point of contention. This is going to be the next fight that determines kind of the rest of the feeling.
The gate's down, so Zad can get a swap here. There's the mosh pit. Keep an eye on Zad. ETC's on the back line. Here comes the swap. Winds up picking up 1. Jason actually walks into the ring. The Scroll of Sealing catches 4, but it doesn't matter. Oriole is there for the defense. Phantoms winds up fighting his way through the Lornado. Meanwhile, Roll1 just try to group up and stay alive against this Dragon Blade, and they do so. They get a kill on Lunara. I don't think they can race top for this tribute, though. Looks like Phantoms is going to be the first one up there. Zad trying to plod his way on up. If he gets a swap, he has the delay, but I think it's the only play. There's no heroic. He can't do it with a blind. And he's a
Letting
little
it
late.
go, though.
Siege, however, may go down here. Looking for the Rain of Vengeance from Vala. Does not get it. Two-man Scroll of Sealing as Big Beard and Velvet are zoned off. That was a big opportunity there. Roll1 a little late. Wanted an extra wave bottom, and it may have cost them their second tribute.
Yeah, and I think they could have gotten that. I'm a little bit disappointed, honestly. I think that should have been theirs had they played that correctly.
Agree. And they're now just trying to figure out how they can get to 16 before this next tribute. Rabid Penguin, I wouldn't be surprised if he rips the Divine Shield combo, or excuse me, the Blessed Shield combo. Yep, there it is. ETC goes down.
Now, just too late.
That positioning is just a little bit too aggressive. And that is one medium rare cow. 11th kill for Divine 9. That misplay around that last tribute, the one before this, honestly, it may cost Roll1 their opportunity to get back into this game. Divine 9 has tried to push bottom the entirety of the game. I wonder, do you think they're going for the keep here?
I think not only are they going for it, I think they're going to get it. I mean, Vala's top, Artanis and Jaina, Oriel, all of them are, top to mid lane. They've got time to put a lot of damage out onto this keep.
There's the rotation by Divine 9.
They're back off.
Scared away a little bit.
All right.
Bottom boss.
I mean, it is equal talent tiers.
It is. Bottom boss is up in 20 seconds as well. So
I think likely we're going to see Lunara Wisp just head over there.
are we gonna
Scout it out.
Are we gonna leave it with only one auto attack? Is this the new meta? You just leave the Lunara Wisp, make her eat the cooldown? I'm not sure.
Get an HGC mid-season brawl this week.
We'll keep an eye on it. If the Koreans do it, then we know it's a thing. All right, Tribute is spawning in 30 seconds. This is another even talent tier fight that Roll1 is happy to take. Every heroic will be on the board. Siege looking to pick up that bruiser. Phantoms and Judge Brett have picked up the Giants.
Sonya going to be a bit late, though. Going to be 10 seconds late to this fight.
No, and let's see if Roll1 picks up on this immediate. So there's the cap. They're playing it patiently. One Thornwood Vine charge used on Velvet, and now Sonya can just simply waltz on in. There's a combo from Decker
Oriel.
Kane. Doesn't do anything.
Oriel's at full energy, though.
This is just so much poke. Phantoms hasn't even made a move yet on that Genji. There's the Dragon Blade. It immediately comes out as soon as Vala gets low. Velvet is gone. There is one kill. 2 kills as Oreo gets picked up as well. Stage Dive comes in, but, I mean, these are just defensive cooldowns. Jason is on the back line. Artanis goes down. Phantoms is chasing Big Beard on that Jaina. At the same time, there's 4 members trying to hunt down Rock Your World. He winds up beating the root. Jason will apply that poison, and I don't think anybody's making it out of here. Oh, that's an ace. And now Divine 9 can pick up a curse. Middle keep is going, soon to be gone. And I do believe that game number 2 and the series is about to head over to Divine 9.
It very well could be game. I mean, still half a minute until ETC is up. GG calls
They're gonna rip,
already
they
by
are
the team
gonna
of Roll1.
rip this. But between Sonya as well as Lunara, that is a lot of siege damage. And a good bit of zoning there as well. Well played by Divine 9. They have kept up their impressive end of the season. Quality shoutouts coming out from Roll1. Great team, great sports, much appreciated. And the game is claimed. So Divine 9 is our first team to make it to the East-West Finals. A congratulations to Jason, Rabid Penguin, Siege, Phantoms, and Judge Bread. They survive Moto Miracle in a 3-game set. They take the 2-0 over Roll1. D-Mark and I will move us over to the lobby so that we can go ahead and pick up an interview. I assume that Messer Jason will be here.
All right.
He knows how we do things at NGS.
Hopefully.
We'll just pop it. Chat.
Hopefully.
Questions for Divine 9. We'll have to hold that a little bit, as they are just a little bit behind. I do think, again, a big problem there was that in this match, when Roll1 found themselves down, they really struggled to just find a fight they could take. You know, there were opportunities there. Remember, they were late to one tribute. They're on this last set. They saw that Sonya capped bruisers and just waited patiently. And I mean, the setup from Divine Nine was there for about 30 seconds. I'm actually watching this replay right now where there is just no pressure that is able to be put on them. They can sort of sit back. Once a little bit of damage comes out on the follow-up, Phantoms immediately pops Dragon Blade, Swift Strikes over a wall, and finishes not just Velvet on that Vala, but also found Tufts on the Oriole.
Yeah. I think Roll1 Esports, just the entire series, they struggled to find the engages they wanted.
I agree.
And it just meant that Divine Nine was able to just do what they wanted. There was so little that they were able to do. You know, there was that one good fight they had on Towers of Doom, but other than that, I mean, they really struggled to be able to, you know, get any engages, get any lockdown on any heroes.
And, you know, you have to wonder, they took the ETC twice early. And listen, if you're an NA tank player, you know how to play ETC, you know what the hero can do, but maybe having that Garrosh taken away and maybe feeling forced into picking the ETC as a bit of denial did not work out in Roll1's favor. Remember, in Game 1, they immediately sprung to take away the ETC and Uther, which are picks that they have, but certainly are preferred picks by Divine Nine. And did I hear somebody sneak on in here?
Yes, Jason.
Very, very sneaky, sir.
Speak of the cheeky devil. Congratulations, sir. Once again, Divine Nine, the first team to make it to the East-West Finals for B West. How you feel?
Thank you very much. We're feeling really pumped. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody played well in that game. It was a ton of fun. We played a lot of the heroes that we like to play that we've been practicing, and just great performance all around.
So, this has been a bit of a trend for your team. Some of the hero picks that you guys prefer, ETC, Uther, and immediately in game number 1, Roll1 jump on it, take it away. Thoughts on how the top of that first draft played out, because it looked like every pick were your comfort heroes, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, you know, usually we like to make sure that we're getting, you know, at least some of our comfort picks. But the reality is that a lot of the guys on our team are very, very flexible. You know, Judge can play pretty much any healer. Phantoms, of course, you know, you can't say enough about how he plays so many different heroes at a high level. And I just, you know, it's just kind of mind-boggling that, you know, you can try to ban him out, but I mean, how do you really ban him out? You know, they take away so many of his heroes. They take away Kerrigan, and I don't know. You know, it comes out with Zeratul in game 1 and just hits some monster VP setups, and you know, then just an amazing turn in that draft where he's like, okay, well, they're squishy, so let's go Genji, and then it just comes out and just thrashes them on. I mean,
yeah, the
Phantoms is just ridiculous.
The double Vala really played into his hand there, because there just wasn't enough protection on the backline to support that small of a hero, of a health pool, if you will. But I mean, all right, so getting back to game 1, and this, again, is the third time that I've seen you guys. You have a very sort of placid, pacific take on the laning phase. You'll play 1-2-2, you'll roam just a little bit, but in that first game, you were very, very comfortable losing in bottom lane early and just pounding top lane. Just talk to us a little bit about, about how you guys kind of seem to approach these, each of these maps. Again, you know, you play things safe in the laning phase, and then you show up. Just keep it this simple.
Yeah, I mean, especially with that comp in game 1, that's all on the 10s. You know, we can't really compete with what they had. I mean, you know, I don't know if you know this, but we kind of know how Kerrigan operates. He loves to rotate around and get picks early, and you can't give her that. So we were willing to give up, you know, a little bit of the wall in bot lane, a little bit of, the rotation pressure. And we actually end up, you actually end up with more XP off of that because you're not missing the minions that are killing each other. So we got a little bit ahead on XP. And then once we hit the 10s, we just hit the go button. And like, I honestly didn't think that the combos would go that smooth early, but just that first one, the VP was huge, and we nailed it. So I mean, it just comes down to not feeding into what the opponent's good at, and instead waiting until you hit your power spike. And that's all we felt like we had to do in game 1.
Right on. D-Marcon, questions for Jason regarding certainly the first game.
I mean, in that first game, you relied so much on that Void Prison and Ring of Frost combo. And personally, from my perspective, as I kind of talked about a lot, is I felt like Roll1 just had a lot of trouble engaging guys. How did that feel, going into each team fight? You guys kind of made it your own, and how did you manage to really be the one to engage just about every team fight in the series?
Yeah, Phantoms not only does a great job of executing those engagements, but also he's good at keeping everybody calm and cool and collected, and calling out what he sees and helping us see when those engagements happen. Because when you got Kerrigan hard engage versus like the Zeratul VP Wombo combo, it's essentially who pulls the trigger first and who is successful in pulling that trigger. And so we saw one team fight where we got the VP off, but we didn't get the Kerrigan. And also the D Shield came out on Vala, which was just an awesome D Shield that saved her. And they turned that fight because we didn't get the Wombo.
Yes, that was
and
the one.
Then they got to have what their comp is strong at, which is, getting to our back line and not letting us leave.
So you guys take game 1, and again, you were absolutely right. There was one combo that sort of missed for you guys in the middle, and there was a little bit of a comeback there. Game 2, Cursed Hollow. Was there any expectations that perhaps Roll1 was going to take you guys in a different direction? Did you think they were going to maybe play for something maybe not cheesy, but a little bit more macro oriented?
Yeah, that's something that they have done in the past from what we had seen in the scouting reports, but we wanted to make sure that we picked the Lunara. Again, one of the nice things about playing with somebody who's so good at the game like Phantoms is he draws a lot of bands. And so he draws out the Zeratul band to start. And then, it left Lunara open. We know that they love to play Lunara. They love to play Jaina. So, at that point, it's kind of like, I just take one and make sure that they don't get both. And so I decided on Lunara because she's been seeming very, very strong in sustained situations, like, on Cursed Hollow when you're fighting over these long tribs and you're trying to poke and all that. And so we went with that, and we just kind of built the comp from there. And, got to give a huge shout out to Rapid Penguin, who does all of our comps and strategies and everything. And, he's always the one who's coming up with those. And Phantoms, of course, throws in a lot, and everybody contributes. Right, but well, except for Siege, he just plays Sonya all the time.
He just spins, and then he just spins and then wins. I mean,
spins and wins. That's what he does.
I think that's that's got to be the solo lane story of season 4: spin, win, and advance. I just have one more question before I turn it over to D-Mark specifically about the draft. Just knowing you guys a little bit, I know that Uther and Rhaegar have been at the top of your metas for most of the season, and then we see the Kayn come in. So what it looked like to me is that Kayn sort of pivoted your comp. I expected Rhaegar Genji, and I expected you to be a little bit more aggressive. Instead, you go with the Kayn, and you just played for the slower fight. And I mean, it was very clear that if Phantoms was given the time to wait for the Vala to get low, that was the trigger for you guys to press the R buttons and go.
Yeah. I'm sorry, what was the question?
Well, I mean, just no, that was my bad. I gotta. No, you're right. I got it away. It was like I answered my own thing. So, comms, Rhaegar versus Kayn, I think is, like I said, is the question, and maybe you guys moving away from your meta a little bit in that regard.
Yeah, for sure. We've practiced with a lot of heroes, and like I said, Judge is very good at supporting. That was definitely a role swap that we made this season that I do not regret at all. He went from solo lane to support. He's just done so great. He's got such a wide hero pool in that role. And, Deckard's something that, obviously is new. So, we practiced it and we played it. And, we like it in certain situations and in certain combinations. And it definitely worked out this one.
Right on. All right, D-Mark, on your questions.
So, I mean, I just want to know, going to that last fight, you guys had Sonya on that bruiser camp a little bit longer than I feel like you guys would have wanted. How did you guys feel fighting into that last tribute, knowing that late? Obviously, it worked out, but were you guys worried going into that last fight that really did?
Yeah, I vaguely remember Phantoms coming over comms and saying, "Oh shit, Sonya's still on the camera," something like that. You know, so I think it was a little bit of a miscommunication, but we also knew that, between Deckard and Genji and Lunara and Johanna, like those are the 4 best poke heroes in the game. So we just kind of took different points on the map to just kind of poke from, and wherever they were pushing and zoning, those people would just back up. Other people would come in. I remember getting a Thornwood Vine off, and I think Deckard got the first one. And
that setup over that last trivia.
Wait until Sonya gets there.
That setup honestly felt like a minute. I know it wasn't in real time, and you could watch the clips, but it just kind of seems like, okay, the Sonya, the ping for the Bruiser Camp goes off, and Roll1 just didn't engage. And again, we could see it on the map. Phantom's just sitting behind a wall, just waiting. And again, they were just timid and just could not find that engagement, and that was definitely the story over those 2 games.
Yeah, and I think that's why it was stage dive.
Okay.
Because they wanted to get to the. Obviously, I can't speak for Roll1 strategy, but you saw that happen in the bot lane. We were getting a little bit greedy, sieging into the bot fort or bot keep, and then they did the stage dive on the back line. They hyper dived me, and I think they only got away with me as the kill, and everybody else got away, but. Like, that's what they needed to do, and they did it well a few times in the series. But, mostly our guys just played really patient, and, I give a lot of credit to them throughout the game. But you're right. I don't think they got the engages they wanted most of the time.
Nope. The only question I see from chat, and this is just funny because I called him out in the keys to the game, but this is a good follow-up. Denkstrom wants to know, what Phantoms doesn't play? Support?
I mean, like I said, he's definitely an A-list player. I think that
absolutely.
He's
just continues to impress me. Again, this is the 3rd set that I've had the pleasure to cast with you guys, and can't be banned out. And every game is just making huge impact plays.
Yeah, and I think most of our hiccups throughout the season have been situations where we can't figure out a way to play around. How good he plays, or we just break down as in terms of like how we run our comp. But we've smoothed a lot of those out at the end of the season, as because we were a brand new team. We had lost 3 members, and then the 2 members that we had both changed roles. So it was like a whole new Divine 9 when we started the season.
Right on.
And as we paved it out at the end, it feels like we're really putting it together now.
All right. Well, Jason, the floor is yours. Your opportunity for shoutouts before we let you go.
Well, I think I've shouted out most of the team already, but I just can't say enough about how fun it is to play with these guys.
I mean, they're carrying you. Do it again.
That's you're not wrong about that. I always have the mentality, play with people better than me, and maybe I'll come up to them.
I tease you, man. But again, it's been a pleasure to again have you guys for the 3rd time, and I certainly wish you well, no matter who you guys wind up playing in the West Finals.
Yeah, and we're really looking forward to that. I want to give a huge shout out to Roll1. Those are some amazing guys over there, and really everybody in B West. It's been just such a fun division to play in this season. Every single person that I come across is pleasant, kind, and but still competitive. But it really good sports throughout the whole entire season. NGS, of course, for putting all this on. The admin works so hard. I can tell you right now. I've seen a little bit of that behind the curtains kind of stuff, and these guys just put in the hours and the time.
I mean, they weren't putting in the hours tonight. I think Arch actually showed up.
He's throwing the sitting there watching us play, enjoying a little bit of his. I do get a little bit of his bounty there.
I get a kick. Yeah. I get a kick out of him throwing bits out because it's like, well, dude, they're just going all right back to the org. Come on, like circle of bit life. All right, Jason, thank you once again, and congratulations to Divine 9 and your players as well. Good luck, guys.
Thanks, and thanks for casting, guys.
Of course. All right, and that will do it for the interview part of our segment. So we switch back here. Again, this is the only game of the night. I don't think anybody's actually online to host it. Is anybody streaming? No. Darn it. All right, well, that is going to do it for me. I am Professor Bobo, and joined on what was the narrowest of margins. Thank you once again, D. Marcon, for coming out tonight. I appreciate it, man.
Thanks for having me.
I know. It was a good story.
Yeah.
I'll continue to hold against Quantaka. It's a good thing that I love him. Maybe it'll happen again in the playoffs, but Thank you, DeMarco. Do you have any? Did you pick up any casts this week yet?
No, I got into. I checked the schedule a bit late. Unfortunately, can't get it.
God, I don't have anything else either. I am boy, blank as a fresh washed chalkboard. So hopefully we'll be able to pick up some games later in the week. Again, we have 2 games tomorrow night, 4 games on Wednesday, 3 on Thursday and Friday, and actually a pretty good weekend slate. Sunday actually proving to be quite busy for us here at NGS. Guys, if you want to catch us here on Twitch, check out the Nexus Gaming Series community. If you don't know already, now you do. Again, I am your host, Professor Bobo. I just want to thank you guys for coming out tonight. That will do it for us. Have yourselves a good night, and thank you once again.